Well, there's at least 3 of my kitties. There's old Mr. Gray having some cool water. Yep, it looks like Cleo there, laying underneath the shrubs. She's sort of a little bit trashy looking today, and of course, little Speedy's right in front of her. Where's Spooky? He was with me, checking some of the plantings. No, there he is, laying down on the south side garden bed. Timbers, right in front of the green beans. Oh, that must mean he wants to show me something. Let's go over here and take a look. Oh yeah, I see him now, Spooky. Look at that. They're up. Well, some of them. One there, another one there. Well, at least 4 of them's up. That's a good sign. With more to come. Appreciate it, old buddy. Oh, these are up too? Well, why don't you say something? Oh, okay. Remind us to water before we go in, okay? You my little buddy, ain't you? Well, you're getting to be such a big buddy now, aren't you? Papa loves him. This is my gardening supervisor, faithful financial consultant and accountant. Yep. Kitties can do a lot of different things. You don't know unless you ask. Oh, there you are, friends and family. So glad to see you on this afternoon, June the 24th. I was missing you this morning. Didn't see you around when we were out here and working. Now, we weren't doing anything, life-shattering or shaking or world-turning. Yeah, just piddling. Yeah, haven't felt like really going full bore at it for a while. Resting up, letting the muscles and bones and all that sort of get back in place, if you know what I mean. But we were doing some things. And in the course of doing them, I was asking my own self some questions, and I thought, hey, maybe if y'all would stop by this afternoon, and look here, you did, I could ask all of you. See, this is going to be one of those participation videos that we do from time to time. So hey, come on with me. Let me show you what little bit I did get accomplished today and what I wanted to get accomplished. And then I'm going to ask you, what would you do? Spooky, you just all tuckered out. Now I gotta admit, it was officially 90 in the carport today. Well, it's officially 90 right now. Yeah, 4 in the afternoon. But at least the suns went on the other side of the property. Well, for the most part. And we can take a look at a few things now, because it's not out in the blazing sunshine. Yeah, we're not going to take a whole property tour. No. You see? Oh, well, I forgot. I need to pick up a tool along the way. Yeah, let's head on up here to what we affectionately call old clothesline pole planting. Sometimes old bean pole planting. But it came to be a tomato, pepper, bean, whatever I want planting. Yeah, cucumbers are looking good. They were looking a little bit frail earlier today in that bright sunshine. Peppers are looking good. But if you notice, you can see the ground's all roughed on up. Yep. It's all broken up. And, during the course of it happening, me and the kitty crew working on it in the early hours of this morning, we didn't hear any worms screaming or stampeding. So I'm thinking during the course of this here light cultivation that you're seeing on the ground, no worms were hurt in the process. But it did bring up a question. Because this all started, this being Saturday, and it being 3 weeks since going on 4 weeks since I put all this in. Well, next week will be the 4th week. This is the end of the 3rd week. Not that it makes any difference. Anyway, I wanted to feed all these plants, and I wanted to feed them a granular fertilizer. Yeah, just a well-balanced fertilizer. I think it's an 8-10-8 high yield, if I remember the numbers correctly. But I need to do a little bit of weeding, not much. So I went ahead, started the weeding around all the plants. Then I went and got the fertilizer, put a couple of tablespoons around each one. Of course, now you all know you're supposed to work that fertilizer into the top level of the ground, right? So I went and got a hand cultivator, started chopping up the ground all the way around. Worked that fertilizer in good, you know, in the top 1 or 2 inches of ground. Yeah, still didn't see no earthworms running for their lives. They're there though, as you've seen when I dig a hole. I got plenty of worms. But then I thought, well, now that I've done that, and of course there's the queen. Yeah, that's Cleo up here checking it out. She wasn't here this morning, so she's checking out everything that me and Spooky were working on. Yeah, you know, you could have came by and helped out this morning, Cleo. Anyway, that led to weeding, which it wasn't much. And I mean, there's many ways to go about weeding, right? And one of the ways, old-timey way, been happening forever, is to cultivate the top, you know, 1 to 2 inches of your ground. Yeah, which was exactly what I was doing with the hand cultivator all the way around each plant as I worked in that granular fertilizer. So then I went and got another tool and thought, well, I'll do all the other area too. And I went and got this. Yep, it's got a big long handle on it, and it's got 4 tines. Yep, this is a long handled tine cultivator. Yeah, surely it is. And I started using it to break up that first couple of inches of ground, exposing, as you can see right there. Well, let's get closer, okay? See right there? See the roots? Yeah. Expose the weed roots to the air and to the sunshine, and yeah, they dry up and they die. Yep, old-fashioned cultivation method. On small plots, you can use a hand cultivator, or a little bit larger. You get you one of these long-handled 4-tine cultivators. Now, back when I truck farmed, now I think they call it, oh, market gardening, market farming. Yeah, that's sexier than truck farm. Anyway, it's the same thing. You grow vegetables and you load them up in your vans and trucks, carry them to the farmer's market, co-op, what have you, the wholesaler, the auction. Yeah, and I did that for over a decade or more. Yeah, I really did like it, but circumstances came and I had to give it up. And now all I do is I do a little bit of gardening, because it's just me, and the kiddies don't eat much vegetables. But back then I didn't use a hand cultivator, except when I wanted to get in close to some real, you know, sensitive plants. And I still did use at times a long-handled 4-tine cultivator like this one right here. Yeah. And then I had a cultivator set up for my farm-all tractors. Yep. And you'd run the tractor through the rows when the plants were coming up. Of course, when they got too big, you couldn't cultivate no more, or you'd break the tops out of them. And then, of course, by that time, when they got that tall, the whole theory was that they would shade out the weeds all on their own. And as we all know, that sometimes happens, and sometimes it does not. It all depends on the crop. But I got this place looking pretty good. Well, there's one I missed right there, Cleo. Look at that. Should have got it, Cleo. And then I wanted to go over and do the tomato patch, which is going to be the tomato and pepper patch. But by then, it was in the blazing sunshine. Yeah, we're going to walk over there anyway, because now it's in the shade. It's in the shade, and I could go ahead and do it. But the old man, his round to it is showing E for empty, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we were going to come over here. Now, the other place didn't have a billion weeds in it, but this is brand new, freshly disturbed ground. Yeah, you know, we'd been letting weeds grow up in it. It was a big debris and burn pile, remember? Well, there's the remnants right over there. What's left. And it had all kinds of stuff growing up around it every year. And through it and in it. So not only was it decomposing sticks and limbs and leaves and weeds and what have you, it had all kinds of seeds accumulating. And look at here. It looks like a carpet of them, don't it? I mean, you start looking out over there, there's like a gazillion. Yeah, hand weeding these, I guess you could do it. You know, you just start with one and just, yeah, there you go. There's 4 done. 5 gazillion to go. So yeah, I'm thinking the hand weeding ain't gonna cut it here. Now, what I've done in the past is I've got out the cardboard, I picked the big weeds right around them and that, and I put cardboard out. Left little wells, just like I leave little indentions, and a hand weed right around close to the plant, and use that hand cultivator too, and put the cardboard down. And then build on top of that with grass clippings and leaf clippings, and that suppresses it. At times, when I'm slap out of cardboard, and you know, it's the wrong time of year for grass and leaf clippings, I have resorted to the old hand cultivator and the long handle 4 times. You see how that's working right there? Yeah, and it does take some time too. Look at all those weed roots coming up. Now I guess you put your AirPods in and get you some jamming music from the 70s, so, you know, if you're a youngin', maybe from the 90s. Don't get me started on disco though. And you can just, by breaking up that top 1 to 2 inches of dirt, you expose all those weed roots to the atmosphere, and tomorrow when that blazing sun comes up, it'll cook them. Now, not that that takes a whole ton of effort, and you can see what it does. See all the white strands? Look at that. There's just millions of whatever weeds those are. Everywhere. They're just everywhere. But the sun will come up tomorrow. Well, hopefully. They say it is going to rain sometime tomorrow and the next day. You really don't want that. That's why I was really wanting to get this done today. Yeah, well, the wanting sometimes is more than your ability to do. And that was the case today. But it left the case for me to ask you, just what would you do? Now, you know, they have those hoes, and I've hoed, which basically you just cut off the top vegetation, leave the roots in the ground. That works fine for some weeds, others not so much, because they just sprout back up from the roots. I have done a lot of hoeing in my lifetime with less than desirable results. Yeah, it's sort of like hoe once, hoe twice, hoe 3, 4 times or more. You know, it's like they say, once a hoe, always a hoe. You know, with a hoe. Yeah, look at there. Look at that little roly-poly right there coming. Yep. He says there's some good bittles that man just tore up. And did you know? That's exactly what that little guy's going to do. He's going to feast on these here little bitty seedlings I just threw up in the air. He surely is. He's probably already on his roly-poly phone, calling his aunts, uncles, mom and dad, and cousins too. Ooh, we got a feast over here, prepared by Mr. Tom. Right, guy? Yeah. And as the sun fades, more of the little guys will come out, because they actually eat on decomposing plant matter. But they will definitely eat on brand new seedlings too. Of course, you can look all that up on Mr. Google, you know. He's a little bit smarter than just a little old country engineer. But yeah, I've used one of those stirrup hoes. And I've used a regular hoe. I've used my tractor cultivators, but you know, I'm not going to do enough gardening anymore to get a compact tractor and all the implements. That'd be crazy. I'd have to go back into the vegetable farming and selling game again, and that's just not in my game plan. Yeah, I won't ever say never, but right now, ain't much hope. So, you wonder what the part that y'all got to do is. Well, the part that you got to do is easy. Yeah, you just show up over here, take you to your thumb and your index finger. There's two more out. And you know, with 22,000 plus of y'all, I'm thinking we could hand weed this within about a half hour. You know, and bring a lunch and a little cooler with cold drinks. And we could just, you know, all sit out here on the yard and relax once we're done. Wouldn't that be nice? But no, all kidding aside, your part of it is how would you approach this? Would you hand weed? Or maybe like I'm going to do, I'm going to hand weed right around close to the plants, so the 4-tine long handle cultivator don't have to get close and possibly whack them and of course disrupt their roots. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to keep the tomato plants, trying to get rid of the weeds. Or would you just go down with cardboard from the get-go like I have in the past? Or would you go with hay or straw? Yeah. Leaf clippings, you know, crushed up, whatever. You see, I'm looking for an easier, more ergonomic way than the ways I've tried in the past. I mean, there's got to be something new after all these years, I would think. And the only way I would know is to ask all of you, our community. So that's the question of the day. If you garden, how do you approach tackling your weeds every day? Or do you, at some point in time, just throw in the towel and call it quits and let the weeds have their way? Because I know that's also the solution far too many people take. I see it around here all the time. Eventually, sometime around early July, you can't see the garden for the weeds. No, you can't. And that's sort of sad, because as you've seen, the old man can pretty much garden if he puts his mind to it year round. But this is just what happens when you disturb ground. So you might be saying, oh, see, Miss Tom, you should have been no-till. Well, nobody is actually no-till, period. They should rearrange that to minimum till. You got to disturb the ground when you plant. Sometimes planting certain things, you got to disturb it down to 6 to 10 inches. Yeah, and even the ones that still say they're no-till, I watch them with their BCSs and other equipment stir up the first 1 to 2 inch to 4 inches too. And yeah, that's all better for the earthworms and those fungi and microbiological little things, you know. Those little bears that run around you see all on the microscope. Yeah, they all can get out of the way and dive deep. You know, every once in a while if you're really quiet when you're weeding and cultivating, you'll hear their dive alarm going. Dive, 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 and all the worms start heading deep. Yeah, well actually that does what happened. Worms will go deep when they hear and feel vibrations. And that's a fact. So if you're ever wondering why you're out, rototillering, or, a bunch of people are out in the ground or whatever, and you can't find no worms, that's because they're going deeper to get away from you. Fact, not fiction. But anyway, that's what I brought to you. How do you control your weeds in your garden, small or large? I've tried about every way that I can think of, but I'm not saying I've thought of them all. So what I'm hoping, between sometime tonight and tomorrow morning, before I come out here to tackle this again, I found me a new way to conquer the weeds and make my life so much easier. Ooh, I mean, look down there. It's like a carpet. Yep, most of them are pokeweed. I mean, we got morning glory in there. There's all kinds of things. I mean, right there's some pokeweed right there. Or, affectionately, what we call poke salad. Poke salad Annie. So, let me know in the comments below the video just what you would do and how you keep your weeds at bay all season long. Okay? Well, Spooky's up on the timber pile. I think that's either Cleo or Speedy. We're by the watering can. I don't know where Mr. Gray's at the moment. He's somewhere. He's probably lounging in the capote. Well, we're going to pick up a cultivator and we're going to head that way too. Yeah, it's going on 5. As far as I'm concerned, this day is done. It's 90 degrees out here where the sun don't shine. And yeah, right now, I could get on that. But I'm sure it'll be there tomorrow. Oh, so there you have it, friend and family. That's what we were up to today. Did a little bit of cultivating, a little fertilizing, and that. A little pondering. Is there a better way? And I'm depending on you to let me know if indeed you have one. See, weeds are the banes of all gardeners and farmers. It's what takes the joy out of it all. It's a necessary evil that's got to be done. As far as I know, there's no coexisting with weeds, whether it's in your garden or in your farm rows. No, there isn't. The weeds steal the nutrients away from what you want to grow. And we all know with the high cost of fertilization, whether it's compost, humus, wood chips, organic or synthetic, it's all costing a whole lot of money more. So yeah, let me know how you do it all. Until you've seen them all, the kitty crew, Cleo, Spooky, Speedy, old Mr. Gray, sometimes Heathcliff. And little Gracie too. See y'all in that next video. Y'all take care, stay safe, and God bless you as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Well, there ain't no sense going too far with the tools. We'll just be using them tomorrow. They'll be okay right here. Yeah, there's the hand cultivator right there. Parked by the squirrel. Yeah, I got to call my daughter and see about getting that squirrel painted up this year. Oh, there's Mr. Gray. He's chilling. He's asleep on his favorite thing. Well, other than food, Papa, it's the Troy bill. Yeah, okay. Yeah, time to head her on in. Get a cold drink. Yep. Okay, Speedy. You head and lead the way. Yeah, those cucumbers are looking nice. Ooh, kitty cruise. Experiment here. On the left, that's a straight 8 heirloom. On the right, the burpless bush hybrid. Of course, now granted, it's a bush, so it's not climbing as high, but it's still climbing. Trust me, it will. Come on, Speedy. Let's take it in. My throat's getting dry, and the sun's getting low. Later, all.